teach you English. We are English teachers here in Comoros, and we are so happy that you want to learn English.
We know that learning English isn't easy. Sometimes it just seems impossible. But just like if you were going to climb Kartala, the volcano, just take one step at a time.
That's right. And every episode we will teach you a new story. And we hope that as you hear the story, you'll learn the story and then go tell someone else the story too.
Abby, how long have you lived here in Comoros?
About 10 years.
Wow. And I think you probably like Comorian food.
I love it.
Do you have a favourite food here?
I love coconut rice and fish.
Wow, yeah, that's a good one.
What about you, Amy? What's your favorite food?
I would have to say madaba or cassava leaves.
That's right. Well, that makes me hungry. I don't know about you. But we're going to talk more about food today because this time's story is called Stone Soup. But first we should talk about some new words that you'll hear in the story.
Okay, so let's learn some new vocabulary. The first word you need to know is seller. In this story there is a seller. It's a man who sells things. Here in the market, the sellers, they shout, "Toarenge, toarenge." So, seller. This seller, he has a wheelbarrow. A wheelbarrow is something you push, and it has just one wheel. Here's a picture of a wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow. The next word you need to know is stone. Can you see this stone? This is just a small stone. Sometimes people throw stones. That happens in another story. Another word you need to know is soup. Do you remember the title of the story? It was called Stone Soup. Soup. Soup is a liquid food that we eat. Soup. Soup is hot and delicious. I wonder, do you know what this is? This is a bowl. And this, a spoon. I use my bowl and my spoon to eat my soup. What might we put in soup? Well, we might put one of these. Onion. Onion. Do you like onion? Along with the onion, you're going to need to put some garlic. Garlic. I like garlic. And then maybe a potato. Potato. Finally, you might need some carrots. Here is one orange carrot. All these things you'll put together into a pot. This is a small pot. In the story, it's a big pot. Pot. Now, when we eat our soup, we might smell. What about the onions? Do they smell? Not really, to smell. And then afterwards we'll taste. The soup tastes delicious. The onion? Oh, the onion doesn't taste good. And then finally, there's another person in the story you need to know, and he's a butcher. A butcher sells meat, like chicken or beef. Does a butcher sell onions? No, a butcher sells meat. Great. Those are the words that you need to know for the story.
Well, thanks, Amy. Now listen carefully for those new words as I tell you the story of Stone Soup. Once upon a time, there was a seller who crossed a bridge to a new town, and he stopped his wheelbarrow and sat down under a tree, and he was very hungry. And he said to a woman, "I'm so hungry. Do you have any food?" But the woman said, I don't want to be mean, but we don't have food for ourselves." Well, the seller said, "I guess I can make some stone soup for us to share." "Stone soup," said the woman. "Stone soup?" And the seller got out a big black pot, and he said, "You'll see. Just wait. But first I need some water." Well, the woman went to get some water, and the seller filled the pot with water, and then he lit a fire. And by this time, a crowd of many people came to see what was happening. And the seller said, "Oh, there's nothing quite like a bowl of stone soup." And out he pulled a small stone, and he threw it into the pot, and everyone just stared at him. And the butcher, the town butcher, said, "You'll never get soup out of a stone." But the seller said, "Just wait and see. It'll be delicious." And so he starts stirring the pot, and he said, "Oh, this soup's going to be very good, but it would be even better with just a little bit of garlic." And so a woman came, and she had a clove of garlic, and she looked into the pot, and she said, "You can add this if you like." And so the seller threw it into the pot, and he continued to stir the pot. This soup is going to be delicious, but it would be even better with a few potatoes." A young boy came and said, "I found 2 potatoes. You can add those to the soup." And so the seller threw them into the pot, and he continued to stir. "Oh, if only we had a carrot or 2. And then another woman came, and she said, "These carrots are from my garden. You can add them to the soup." And so the seller threw them into the pot. Oh, it's starting to smell delicious, but even some onions would add some flavor to this soup. And so a man came and said, "You can have these onions for the soup." And he put them in the pot. Oh, he smelled the soup, and he said, "This is going to be wonderful, but only if we had some meat to put in the soup." Well, the butcher came, and he said, "I guess I can give you some meat for your soup." And the seller threw it in the pot. Now the seller took a small taste, and he said, "Oh, this is the best soup I've ever made." And the butcher shouted, "I'll be the judge of that." And he came forward, and he took a taste, and he said, "Oh, the seller is right. It's delicious." And so then the seller gave everyone a bowl, and they all ate all the soup until it was completely gone. And the seller left that town that day very happy. And for many times after, everyone talked about the man who could make soup from a stone.
Stone soup. Once upon a time, a sailor pushed his wheelbarrow over the bridge into a town. He was tired and hungry, so he sat down under the tree to rest. A woman walked by, and he asked her, "Do you have anything that I can eat?" And the woman said, "I'm sorry, I don't want to be mean, but we don't even have any food for ourselves." So the seller took a big black pot from his wheelbarrow and said, "Well, I'll just make some stone soup for us to share." "Stone soup?" said the woman. "Stone soup?" But the seller just said, "Wait and see. First, though, I need water." The woman quickly went to get some water, and the man poured it into the big black pot and lit a fire underneath it. And then, in front of the crowd of people that had come to see what was happening, he took a small stone and threw it into the pot of water. He said, "There's nothing like a pot of stone soup. But we'll have to wait." "Wait if you like," said the butcher, "but you'll never get soup from a stone." But the seller, he just stirred and sniffed the air and said, "This stone soup is going to be so good, but it would be even better with some garlic." And so a woman, she picked up a couple of cloves of garlic and said, "Here, I have some garlic. Put it in the soup if you want." And so the seller took the cloves of garlic and he threw them into the pot of soup. He stirred the soup and he smelled and goes, this soup is going to be great. But it would taste even better with some potatoes. A young boy said, I found 2 potatoes. You can add them both. And so the seller added them both to the soup. He stirred that soup and, he said, if only we had a carrot. A woman said, these carrots are from my garden. You can put them in the soup if you like. And so he took the carrots and threw them into the pot. Then he said, onions. Onions will really add flavour to this soup that I'm making. A man said, I'll share my onions with you. And so the seller threw the onions into the pot. The air filled with a delicious smell. This soup is going to be the best stone soup I've ever made, said the seller. But what I really need is some meat, some beef maybe. And the butcher said, well, I guess I can give you some of that. And the seller, he took the meat and he threw it into the pot, into the stone soup. At last, the seller, he took a taste and goes, it's delicious. It is the best stone soup I've ever made. The butcher said, I'll be the judge of that. And he took the spoon and he tasted the soup and he said, it's right. It's delicious. And so the seller put some soup into bowls for everybody, and everybody ate until all the soup had gone. That night, the seller went on his way, very happy. And for a long time after, all the people of the town talked about the man who had made soup from a stone. And that's the end of the story.
Well, thanks, Amy. What do you think? Would you like to try some stone soup?
Oh, I think I would. What about you guys at home? Would you like to try some stone soup?
Well, let's ask some questions to make sure those at home remember the story. Okay?
I'm ready.
So first, Amy, who came to town?
The seller.
Yeah, and what did the seller ask a woman?
He asked her for some food. He was hungry.
And what did the seller say that he would do?
He said he would make soup from a stone.
And what did the people think when the man said he would make soup from a stone?
I think they thought he was a bit crazy. They just repeated, stone soup, as if they couldn't believe their ears.
And what was the first thing they put in the pot?
Water. Water's essential for a good soup.
It's true. And what else did they put in the pot?
Garlic, onions, carrots, potatoes, and some meat, some beef.
That's right. But who added the beef?
The butcher. He's the man who sells meat.
Good. But what did the people think? Did they like the soup?
Oh, Abby, they thought it was delicious.
That's right. Well, I think we can learn something from this story, but maybe we should talk to some friends about it.
That's a great idea. Let's go and find them.
I think what I like most about stone soup is that everyone came together to work together. Everyone, added a bit of something that they had to make a feast that everyone got to participate in. It wasn't just for one person, it was for everyone, and they learned how to share and to be friends. I like that a lot about the story.
My favorite part of stone soup is when the peddler puts the rock in the pot, because it's surprising, it's strange, it's bizarre, and you don't realize what a wonderful thing it's going to become.
Thanks, GSV members. Well, now I've told the story.
And I've told the story.
So it must be your turn to tell the story. Go and find a friend who speaks English and tell them the story of stone soup.
That's right. Well, have fun, and thanks for watching. We'll see you again.
Bye! Here we are at the GSV office in Nyumba Rijal. We have a great library here that we'd love for you to come and use. There's all sorts of stories, but also books of information. Here I've got one of art and then another about the weather. So come and learn English and also new things. We'll look forward to seeing you here. Bye!